everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to make our very own awesome glitter cardstock cake topper. Now these can be used for lots of things. They don't just have to be cake toppers. They can make really cute centerpieces, accent decorations for all sorts of things. So don't just think cake toppers. They have a lot of uses. But we're going to be using glitter cardstock. I got a big pack off of Amazon, comes with a ton of colors. I'll link it down below. I'm really happy with this. But we're also going to show you how to do a test cut so that you make sure that your glitter cardstock cuts out really, really nicely. And that way you end up with a really clean cut, a really beautiful finished product. Now, of course, you're going to need cardstock. You're going to need a Cricut or other craft cutting machine. And then I'm using some foam tape from the Dollar Tree. I'll link everything that we're using for this tutorial down below. And make sure that you're subscribed here. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. The first thing we want to do for our design is, of course, to download it. I thought this one would be really fun with glitter cardstock. It's such a cute design. And I have the Design Bundles Plus subscription, so it only cost me 1 credit. Now, all I have to do is click download, and then I can choose the download now option here. And I can save it into any folder that I want to within my computer. Now for me, I'm going to make a new folder for this by clicking on the new and clicking folder. And we're going to call this glitter cardstock, since I'm going to teach you guys how to cut glitter cardstock with your Cricut. I'm going to save that design into that folder. Now, a really important step is to make sure we extract or unzip the folder. Now, in order to do that, I need to open the folder that it came in. And you'll see here that all I have to do is click extract all and then just click this extract down here at the bottom. Now it's going to open up the folder with the file that I can use, and you can close this one. But one thing I like to do is I'm going to go back into that glitter cardstock folder, and I'm immediately going to delete the compressed zipped folder. I don't need it. I'd rather just get rid of it, and that way it's out of my way. Now we're going to go over to Cricut Design Space to upload this. Over in Design Space, you're going to click Upload on the left-hand side, and it's going to open up this main page where we can click Upload Image right here. From here, you can either browse for it or you can just drag and drop the file. I'm going to drag and drop my file into my Design Space. Now, you'll see, first off, it comes with all the pieces, but I also want to point out to you that it looks so blurry and yucky. Don't worry, that's okay. Design Space, for whatever reason, has a problem. I'm going to click Continue. Now, because this is an SVG, I don't have to do anything to it. I can change the name of it or add any keywords that I want to, or I can put it into a collection if I want to here, but I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to click Upload. Now, once I've done that, it'll bring it right into my Design Space canvas. Now, this item is so fun, but you'll notice that there's a lot of parts to it, lots of pieces and parts. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just so we can get that other bubble down here. This little bubble actually goes behind that bubble. I'm not sure what happened when they designed this, but no big deal. So what we need to do here is, first off, decide what you're going to make the card for, what age, how old is the person, whatever you're going to do. But we need to ungroup the design, because you can see over here that it says group. And if I click the down arrow, you can see there's tons of pieces here. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this. You can ungroup it, or you can just hide the pieces that you don't want. Sometimes ungrouping is easier. Sometimes hiding is easier if you're going to be using this like multiple times. Like, let's say that I am going to be somebody who sells these cake toppers. It's probably going to be easier to hide the pieces that you don't want and then ungroup it in a minute. So let's say that we're going to make this for a 3-year-old. So I'm going to use the 3 right here. So what I want to do is I'm going to hide all the numbers that aren't the 3. So I'm going to hide the 5, and you can see that it disappears right here. Now we'll have a second 5 right here that we'll find. If we want to get rid of the 2, we want to get rid of the 1, the 0, what I think is the 8. This is the 3. You want to hide the 9, the 7, the 6, and the 4. Now, right here is what we're left with. Now, obviously, we've got this 5 here. And if I use this down arrow, you can see that it's going to pull up all of these pieces for our design. Now, you can see here is the 5 that we want to make sure that we get rid of. So you can just hide that 5. Now, like I said, you don't have to ungroup this if you don't want to. That's really an up to you thing. But if you want to ungroup it, you're going to have a lot of pieces to kind of pull apart. Just kind of depends on how you want to make this and what you want to do with it. But I do want to get a visual of where this 3 is sitting. So I'm going to go ahead and click ungroup. And that'll allow me to move this 3 independently. Now you can see that these parts are still grouped, so I can move these ones together. But if I grab the 3, let me get this out of the way. If I grab the 3, I'm able to move that independently, and I can actually size it onto the front. But you'll notice that it goes behind it, which is totally normal. I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to click send to front. And then I'm going to move this 3 over on to my design because I think I want this a little bit bigger than the size that it shows. So I think that looks pretty good. Now, again, can I ungroup all of this? I absolutely can because this is driving me a little crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and click ungroup again. And you're going to see now that I should, with any luck, be able to move that bubble by itself, but I still can't because they have a lot of individual groups within the group. So it can be a little bit of a pain, but that's okay. This is easy. All we're going to do is ungroup these 2 items, and now I can move them individually. So I can put this bubble back where it was, and I can drag this bubble back over to the design. And this is just going to help you visualize your design. Now you want to make sure you grab everything in your design, and from here we can size it to however big we want it to be. Now, depending on the size of your cake, what you're going to do with this, maybe this is going to be like a sign on a table. That will depend on how big you're going to make it. I'm going to make mine about 6.5 just so that you guys can see it pretty well, and we're not working with like tons of teeny tiny little pieces. Now we want to add our name down here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is open up some text. And you can use any kind that you want. So we're going to make this for a little girl named Aubrey. I have no idea who Aubrey is. I just come up with random names to use for these tutorials. So for this, you can, again, like I said, use whatever font you want. It's up to you. I'm going to make this bigger. And you can use a script font. You can use a sans font. Whatever you want to use, it's up to you. Have fun with it. Do what you want to do. I personally love a good script font, but you got to find the right one, right? Which can take forever here in Cricut Design Space. Look how long it took me just to take a look at this font. So I'm going to show you a trick that I really like to use that makes looking for a font super easy. There's a website called wordmark.it. Now this site is great. So what I can do is I can type in the name. So I'm typing in Aubrey, and I can click this little arrow. And what it does is it brings up all the fonts that are on my computer. Now this won't show you Cricut fonts, but truly I don't use Cricut fonts. So this is an easy way to look at all the different fonts that are on your computer, and you can see which one you might want to use for your design. What you can do is you're going to scroll through, and when you find a font that you like, so let me find one that I think I would like to maybe use. This one's pretty cute, so let's click that one. And you're going to scroll through and click any font that you think, oh, you know what, that might be really cute to use for our cake topper. So I'm going to go through and find any that I think, oh, that's really pretty, or that's fun, or whatever it may be. And you can choose as many as you want. So I'm going to go through, scroll through all of my little designs here, all my different fonts, and then I'll show you which ones we picked and how to choose from those. Once you've selected all the different fonts that you want to look at, click up here in the top corner where it says filter selected fonts, and it's going to show you the different fonts. And from here, you can kind of look at them and compare them and see if there's anything that stands out that we don't like. And if you want to see it bigger, just click on it and it'll bring it up bigger. Like this one, I don't like. It's just not it. So you can just remove it from the design. And again, like I want to look at this one. I don't think that's quite it either. So we'll get rid of that one. I can already tell you that one's just not it. The black sample's cute. I like Party Days. Party Days would be an individual letter for each letter, but I do think it's pretty cute. Red Berry is a little, I think, too fancy for what I want to do. Timberly's script is really easy to read, so I think that might be the winner. Let's go with Timberly's script. So let's head back over to Design Space. Now over in Design Space, we know that the name of our font was Timberly, so I can just search the first couple of letters of the name. So I'm going to search for Tim, and we're going to choose Timberly's script. And we have our cute little font. Now, again, it's going to take a second for it to load. That's just how it is. Design Space is a little bit slow. So once I'm happy with this, I can size it, but I'm going to make it a different color because I think I'm going to make this like gold. And before I do anything else, I'm going to go down to combine and I'm going to weld it. Now you don't have to do that. It will cut it all in one piece. But for me, I just want to see what it looks like a little bit better without the cut lines. So doing a weld or a unite just helps me visualize the design that I want to do. So now I'm going to size it down until it fits within like this area, or like however I want it to fit. It doesn't have to fit exactly into that banner. It can hang over the sides a little bit if you want to. Maybe you've got a longer name. Whatever you want it to look like is absolutely fine. So I think that looks pretty cute like that. But I do think I might want to add a little offset to this just so that the name has just a little extra oomph to it. And that's easy to do. You just go up to the top for offset and you can kind of size it from here. Now, I will say the one thing that kind of drives me crazy with the offset is since this is really small, your offset might be a little hard to size. So one thing that's really helpful, make your font really, really big, and maybe not that big, but you can make it big. And then when you use offset, you're going to have a little bit more playroom because your like 0.25 isn't quite as large. Now I do think I want it just a little bit bigger, so I am going to go ahead and just scooch this out a little bit. I just want it to be enough that it's a solidish piece without being super solid. Now I'm going to go ahead and click apply, and then I'm going to change the color of that because we're going to make that like a, maybe that one should be the darker color, and then we'll make the Aubrey the lighter color. Just playing around with coloring, you know, do what you want to do. But I do think I'm going to go with golds for her name. So now that I've got that and I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and select both of these items and again, size them down to fit into my design. And I'm just going to zoom in. And you can see here that I can see a little bit better now, kind of my sizing. And I'm just going to figure out kind of how big I want this Aubrey name to be. Now, like I said, make it as big as you want. It doesn't have to fit. So if I made it like so that it fit within this area, it's pretty small. And I kind of don't mind if it hangs over the top or the bottom a little bit. I just want it to look cute and stand out. So I think that looks really, really good. I'm really happy with this. I think it looks really nice and it's going to be really a fun product. So now that I'm happy with this, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I save my project. So I'm going to click save. I'm going to call it Mermaid 3 Birthday. I spelled mermaid wrong. It's fine. I don't care. I also spelled birthday wrong apparently. I spelled it bird sad. Oh my goodness. I can't type it. Oh, I give up. Let's just start over. Mermaid 3 Birthday. Now again, I've got all the other numbers still on this design so that if I want to make this for someone else or use a different number, it's super easy to do. So now that I've got it saved, all I want to do is click make, and it's going to bring up our different pieces of cardstock. Now this is going to be a lot of cardstock pieces just because there are so many colors. So I have the Aubrey, and this one here is our offset. We have our thinner Aubrey. Then we have the 3 and the bubbles. This is all of our backer pieces, and for these I'm going to cut on regular cardstock because I don't want the entire thing to be glittery, but I want a lot of it to be. But I think the backer pieces should be plain cardstock. Then we've got our big tail, and then this is the inside of the banner right here, this piece. And then we have the outer part of our tail. So you can see this will all be glitter. And then this piece here, I think this I will probably also cut in a plain cardstock, not with glitter, just so that it, you know, doesn't again kind of overtake with the glitter. This is our outside of our shell. This I'm going to cut in glitter. So we have a few different glitter pieces and then a few regular cardstock pieces. Now what we're going to do is click continue, and we need to connect to our Cricut. Once we've connected to the machine, we need to find the cut setting that we want to use. Now I am going to show you, I'm going to do a test cut first, just so you can kind of see how that works, but it's really easy. I just cut out a little star. But in order to do that, what I wanted to do is I browse all my materials, and I want to just start with the glitter cardstock setting. So to find that, I just searched the word glitter, and I chose glitter cardstock. Now I did bookmark that because that's an item I use a lot in my crafting. So I wanted to make sure that it was bookmarked. All you have to do then is just select it and then click done down here at the bottom. Now you're going to see me cut that star first and talk a little bit about that glitter cardstock setting, but then we'll cut out all of the pieces for the cake topper. We're gonna do a test cut first, which I always recommend if you are starting with a new material or a different machine. So I got this material off of Amazon. It's a big pack of glitter cardstock. So I just chose a color of glitter cardstock that I'm probably never gonna use. I'm gonna load this in, and the first cut setting I'm gonna try is the glitter cardstock setting, since that's usually a decent place to start. And we're just gonna cut a small little star, I know my shapes, in it, and it'll cut down in this area. I always try to have it cut down towards the bottom. It's just a little easier to see. So we'll go ahead and let that cut out and see how it does. I'd run 1,000 miles if I could run with you. Now that it's done, I'm gonna go ahead and peel back the cardstock, and it looks like it cut really, really nicely. The star doesn't have any like weird edges. So the glitter cardstock setting is what we're gonna use for our design. So I'm gonna pull out the colors that I'm gonna use. This pack is huge, and it comes with so many colors. So I'm gonna pull out those colors and some of the regular cardstock that we're gonna use and get everything cut out. I have my cardstock laid out in the order that it's going to cut. So we're just gonna load and get everything cut out. And then I'm gonna show you how we assemble. But cutting glitter cardstock on your Cricut is super easy. Just make sure that you're doing test cuts.
And from what I have heard, you do the same thing too. I wanna say forever, we could be good together. Guess misery loves company. Too late than never, you know we could do better. So take a chance and run with me. Everywhere we go, we turn to.
Now that we have all of our parts cut out, what we're gonna do is assemble. So I've kind of put them in little groupings so that we can get everything put together. This is our main background, and this is what everything is gonna sit on. The first piece that needs to be placed down is this glitter banner part, and that goes down here. Now you can use lots of things to put these on. You can use foam tape, you can use glue dots. I've got a little bit of everything. And I'm gonna use a wider foam tape for this part since it's a bigger piece. And what you can do, you don't even need to use a lot, like you don't have to put foam tape across the whole thing because that's pretty wasteful. So I just cut a few smallish squares. I don't use anything too big because you don't need to. And I'm just cutting these little squares, and these are just from the Dollar Tree, this foam tape. It's great. I love this stuff. And I'm gonna give you a quick little tip because I have a hard time sometimes getting the backing off of it. So I use some tweezers, and those make getting this like white backing off a little bit easier. Sometimes not, but sometimes they do. There we go, got that off. So I'm gonna get this off. And it's all just a matter of like piecing this together like a puzzle. So you're gonna layer everything together. Now, I am not, as you guys know, like a master of cardstock projects. It's just not a skill that I possess. I need to practice more. So if this doesn't come out 100% perfect, we are not going to judge because I'm not amazing at this. So next piece that will go on is actually this little paper piece, and this goes across the front here, and that's where the name will sit, and the name ends up being the last piece that's gonna go on because that's like the topmost layer. So again, I'm just gonna cut a few foam squares. This stuff is pretty sticky. I'm pretty proud of it from the Dollar Tree. Like, I think it does a really good job. You get 3 rolls. You get a small, a medium, and a large. So you get quite a bit of tape for $1.25. If I can find it on their website, I'll link it to make it a little easier. That way you can see sometimes if your store has it in stock, or you can order it in bulk. But I'll link it down below for you. I'll link everything that we're using down below. Just makes life easier if you want to make these things. Now again, we need to line this up, and again, I'm not amazing at this, but I'm gonna do my best. Ooh, don't stick it. Can't see where you are on the other side. So like I said, we're just gonna line this up best we can. If it's not perfect, it's not. Actually, that's pretty close. That's not bad. Now we get to start working with some of the larger pieces. So these are the bigger pieces that are gonna layer right here, and the bubble sits above the banner, so it'll sit a little bit like that. So again, we need to add some foam, but you can again use glue dots. These are not as thick as I would like, so I'm going to use the foam tape for this. Now with this, you want to make sure you kind of get some foam tape up on the tail because that's like a big piece that's kind of hanging out on its own. And then I want to make sure that I get some right here where there's like this little base portion of the tail. And then you can put a few pieces kind of around this area, and you want to get like one over here. You just want to make sure that they're in places where it's going to help the paper kind of stick up and away from the other areas. So that should be enough. I could probably put one here, but it's not necessary, so I think it's fine without. So then again, we'll peel off these, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and get everything else layered together. I truly don't think you need to watch me layer everything because it's the same process for all pieces. You just gotta layer it in the correct order. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this really quickly and show you what this looks like when we're done.
I need you in my life. Let me show you how it feels to roll the dice. You know you want it. Just say the word. Everywhere we go, it turns to paradise. All I know is that I need you in my life. Let me show you how it feels to roll the dice. You know you want it. Just say the word. Oh.
I have to say I'm actually pretty proud of myself for this cake topper. You guys know I'm not great with paper products and paper designs, but I think this one came out really good. Now, I do wish I would have used a darker blue for the bubbles and the 3, but I still think it's really cute. I think it came out really good and it was super easy. Now, if you have any questions about this, please let me know in those comments down below. And I'm going to link this design in case you want it and all the products that we used as well down in the video's description. I want to thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate you guys being here with me. If there's something that you want to learn how to do, let me know below, and if I don't have a tutorial for it, I will add it to my list. I'm always happy to make the videos that you guys want to see. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.